Hello, I'm Frost, and welcome to part 2 of designing a large block ship in Space Engineers. Welcome back. So we're going to do a quick little recap. So I'm busy working on a salvage ship on our dedicated server, Frosty's OP, which if you're interested in joining, then please join our Discord, link below. So anyway, on the server, what we've been doing is piracy. So we've been stealing ships from the various factions, and we've then been dropping them down onto the moon so that we can then retake all the resources from the ship. Now, what I was thinking of was we don't have a ship specifically for that task, and I was thinking of the Eagle from Space 1999, and the whole idea was that we could use a ship like this, and then we could grab hold of the ship that we're stealing, put on some grapplings on it, and then basically just drop it down onto the moon. But ideally we want to be able to put that anywhere, so it has to be powerful enough to even do high gravity like the alien planet or the Earth-like planet. And then I thought, okay, well we can also put on some cargo modules and things. So that's the general idea, and where we got to so far, as you can see on the screen here, let me just jump up, is we've actually got the main structure. So we have actually here a fully functional ship. So hydrogen engines all the way around. With hydrogen tanks, we've got some jump drives right here. We've got some batteries, we've got some gyros, and we are good to go. And then we even have a control seat here. Now, one of the wonderful things of being on a community server is I mentioned to one of the players, Frimmy, that I was working on this ship, and he's already been started on the cargo module. So look at that, doesn't that look cool? So the idea is that we'll be able to hook some of these onto the bottom of the ship. And they could be hydrogen tanks, they could be cargo containers like here. There could even be extra jump drives so that we can jump further. So yeah, that looks really good. Now, what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be working on the utilities. So I need landing gear all the way around. I then need to create the grappling hooks. Then after that, I need to work on the cockpit. And then from there, we then need to start putting some armor and give it some shape and structure. So that's the plan, and that's what we're going to start with. And yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight in and start with the landing gear. Right, so first things first, just need to make sure that I got some material. Yes, so I've got plenty of steel plate, got interior plate and construction components, which are all the things that I need in order to be able to just do some initial builds. I need to make sure that all my bobs are off. So these are this is a mod. And these units basically allow me to not have to weld. They do all the welding for me, which I kept calling grinding in the first episode. I have no idea why. I was very tired that night. I may have had something to do with it. Now I've got 3 of these located around. There's actually one in this structure here as well. So I'm going to just go through here quickly. There we go. We're going to scoot through this door. And there's one more here. So we're just going to switch that one off as well. I like to just go straight to the blocks rather than doing it through the interface, because then that way I actually remember that I've done it. Here we go, we're going to pop back out the airlock again. Make sure I don't shut myself in the door, because I killed myself recently doing that. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put in this landing gear. Now I'm seeing a hole right here. So we're going to grab, there we go, I've actually popped them in here already. So number 9 is my piston. So we're going to pop it in here, and I think we're going to be fine. I don't think we're going to have a clang issue. I think we're going to be, yeah, I don't think we're actually going to have any contact here with the edge. Oh, hang on, there is another builder working somewhere. So, I can see it now. A new one has been put in by Frimmy. So, we need to deactivate that one as well. Because clearly we're in its sphere of influence. And at the moment, there we go, that seems to have stopped now. I need to make sure that it doesn't get in the way. Right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to pop a landing gear on that as well. Right there, if I can get it to spin round. And yeah, we should be absolutely fine there. I don't think that's going to clang. No, we're good with that. I think there's enough space. Right, so the idea is that the landing gear is also pretty flush with the engines. So we're keeping things nice and high and out of the way. And yeah, so I'm going to do that on all 4. Then we're going to weld these, and then we're just going to set up the groups. So I'll catch up with you as soon as I've done all the welding for these. Okay, so we've now done all of that. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to put all of these into a group, and then we're going to put them to good use. So let's jump in here, and we're just going to go into our control panels. And I made sure that I named everything Eagle, so they should be under Eagle pistons. There we go. So landing back left, back right, front left, front right. So we're going to pop all of these together and to call them Eagle pistons landing. There we go. And then what we want is the landing gear. And I'm going to probably wait until I'm actually detached from the structure, so that way I know which is which. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fire up the engines, make sure those engines are on. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to unlock, and then we can pull back a little bit. There we go. We've got plenty of fuel, so we can just sit there with our engines on. And what this means now is I'm in a position to be able to actually name everything correctly. So you can see I've got loads of things here that all need naming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly name all of these things and then catch up with you in a second. Okay, so I have now named everything correctly, and I've created the groups. So what we're going to be looking for is the landing gear. So we've got the landing gear, which we want to be able to pop into here and do a switch lock on these. And then we have the pistons. Actually, no, let me take that off because I actually need that to be the group. So let's remove that. So I need to go to my groups. There we go. So I've got my landing gear right here, which we want to switch lock. And then we have our pistons, which I don't think I've created a group yet. So let's do that quickly. Let's go back into here. Let's go to our Eagle landing gear. Right, so I've done the landing gear, but I haven't done the pistons. So where are my pistons? There we go. So let's do all of those. So Eagle, piston, landing. Perhaps my spelling was okay. There we go. Eagle, pistons, landing. I'm sure I did that. I must have not saved it. So now, if I go into my groups, there we go. There's my Eagle, pistons, landing. And we're going to put those onto reverse. And we're going to give ourselves a bit of height. There we go. And we're just going to take a quick look and make sure these all work okay. So there we go. So these are all descending quite nicely. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to clamp down away from the connector. It'll just make it easier for us to rename everything. So yeah, that's all looking absolutely fine. So we're going to just pull back a little bit and make sure we're not going to land on top of anything. There we go. And then I'm just going to come down. This ship is very, very twitchy because we've got a lot of power on this ship. And I think we're almost ready to lock. There we go. So, are we locked? Let's have a look. Come back up again. Yeah, I think we're locked. Let me just take a quick little look at this and see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, so we're locked on one of the landing gears, so that's fine. For some reason it was showing unlocked in my display, so I'm going to have to sort that out in a minute. So let's just switch off our engines for now, and we'll leave the batteries on. And as you can see, my stuff is showing as unlocked for my groups, for my landing gear, so it could be I just need to go quickly into my control panels, and we're just going to take a look at this landing gear. Ah, right, okay, we've got auto lock on, so we need to take the auto lock off on each of these. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to switch the engines on again, and just make sure, so we're still locked at the moment. Yeah, so I'm going to have to manually unlock everything now. So this is one of the issues with getting these right at the beginning. So let's unlock that one, unlock that one, unlock that one, and unlock this one. There we go. So now we can take off. We're showing it's unlocked at the moment. I'm just going to check my control panel just to make sure these are definitely on switch lock. So we're just going to double check. So we're going to go to here, go down, pop it back down again, and make sure that's on switch lock. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to drop down, and we should see, no, whoops, I've got a little bit skew if there. Probably not being in just the right place. There we go. Okay, so let's see if we can come down. Okay, now that should, okay, well, that is definitely locked. So I will worry about the details on that in a minute because I actually just want to progress on with getting everything built. So what we're going to do now is we are going to build the grapples. So I think what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to build these right here, and I'm going to have them kind of upside down, and then I'm going to have them spin round. So if we put in some connectors, so let's drop some connectors right here, some conveyors, sorry. So there we go, there's one there, and another one in a little bit higher, I think. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drop in 2 pistons. So I'm going to go to here, and we're going to drop a piston on this side. So it's already building, so I've still got the bob turned on. I'm kind of confident with what I want to do with this, so for now I'm happy to leave that as is. And then we're going to want some hinges. So we want to pop the hinge on the end here, and we want it to face downwards. So I believe we've got this line, so the line is facing towards the top. We'll do the same on this side. There we go, make sure, let's get it rotating properly. There we go, so just saw the line at the top there. And then we're going to want to put some more pistons on the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to rename these pistons now so I don't lose track of what's what. So this is going to be piston, grapple, and that's going to be left horizontal. You get a general idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically put in all these things, and then I'll catch up with you as soon as I've done all of these. Alright, so here we go. So I have built the main kind of grapples, and obviously I don't want them staying like this. So the first thing I need to do is I need to sort out my hinges so they are in the upright position. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that now. So we're going to just pop in and see if I can get to it here. For some reason it's taking me to the battery instead of to the grapple, but to the hinge. But fortunately I've named everything. So here we go. So we've got hinge, grapple, left. So it's this one here. Now what we're going to want to do is we want it to be on a -90 and then +90, so that goes from one extreme to the other. What we're going to do is we're going to set our velocity, let's do it to 10. So right now that's heading downwards, so obviously we want that to be in the opposite direction, so we want the starting point to be the other way. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back into the hinge, grapple left, and we are going to reverse that. There we go, and that's going to swing the other way. And then we're going to do the same on the other one. And let me see if I can get to the thing. There we go. Let's see if this one, no, once again it takes me to the wrong thing. So what we're going to do is we're looking for hinge grapple right. There we go. And we're going to, once again, give that a velocity. So 1.71 for now. It's spinning, and then we're going to have to reverse it. So let's do that. So let's go back to our hinge, reverse that, other way. There we go. And we are good. Right, so this one's up, and that one's up as well. And then what we're going to have to do is we're going to put a timer block on this so that we reverse everything that's going on. I can see as well that some of these pistons don't look like they've been completed. Are they actually built? Oh yeah, they're built. For some reason they're not coloured, so let's let me just do a quick little paint job there, otherwise I'm going to get the feeling that they're not finished, and that's going to leave me concerned. There we go. Right, so let's go to the other side. We've got a little bit more light. Let me put my lights on. Oh, hang on. Helps if I give myself some oxygen as well. So let's do that. Right, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself a bit more height as well, because when these extend down, they are going to potentially extend as far down as this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and unlock and take off a little bit. So let's turn our engines back on. And see if we can get these, there we go, they're unlocked, even though it said it was unlocked. Okay, so we've got a bit of height now, so that's good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a timer block to move all of these in unison. So I'm thinking we could put a timer block right here, in fact. So there we go, so timer block. Let's pop that down right there. And that's going to get built in a second, hopefully by the bob. There we go. So that's being welded as we speak. And then we can go and sit down on our control seat. There we go, and go to our control panel, go to our timer. There we go, and it's going to be eagle, timer block, and it's going to be Grapples. And then what we do is we're going to set up our actions, which is going to be really straightforward. So we need to find all our pistons first of all. So we've got our pistons, not for the landing gear, but we've got the grapple left horizontal. So we're going to grab that one and we're going to reverse that. We're going to have our grapple left vertical. So we are going to reverse that. And then we are going to have our right horizontal and reverse that. And then we're going to have that one in reverse and that one as well. And then finally, we're going to go to our hinges and we're going to do exactly the same thing with our hinges. And we're going to pop a reverse on that one and a reverse on this one. And now we've got all of the timer block in one group. So then we can go to our heads up display here. And we're going to use number 1 for now, just as our example. So we're going to go to G and we're going to go to our timer block, which is right there. I'm going to put that in there. And then we're going to have it as trigger now. So now, basically, when I hit the timer block, it should just automatically trigger all of the hinges and pistons. So let's hit that. There we go. And that's extending out and spinning right round. So that's looking good. Okay, they're not quite at the same speed on both sides, so I need to adjust that. And also the hinges are working much faster than the pistons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up my pistons as well, I think. So let's go and go back into here and go to our control panels. And then let's look at our pistons at the moment. So our grapples, at the moment we're going at 0.5. So let's move that up to 1. Right, let's move it up to 2. Let's make it a little bit faster because it's going to make it probably a little bit more interesting. So let's get that up to 2 and do the same for that one. And this one. There we go. And finally, that one. Okay, good. So let me get an outside view again, and we're going to reverse this now. Okay, so that's moving at a much more interesting speed now. But now I'd really like to try and get them exactly kind of the same time. And now the hinges are actually moving much too slowly. So we're going to have to speed up the hinges as well, I think. So let's do that. Let's go into our control panel. Let's go into our hinges. And let's have a look. So they're currently going at 215 RPM. So let's double that up. So it's -4. And this one was at minus, so make that -4.6 as well. All right, we'll try that one more time and see how that looks. There we go. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it could probably go just a little bit faster. So we're going to do one more. I think we're just going to boost it up just a little bit further for the hinges, and then I think we'll be good. So we're going to go up to, let's go up to 5, 5.37. Let's try that. And then I think that'll be close enough. I can always tweak it later. There we go, 5.37. And then we'll do one more. There we go, so that's pulling in. There we go, much better. Okay, I'm happy with that now. All right, so that's that done. So I think the next job to do is to work on the cockpit. So I'm going to land this ship again. So we're going to bring it back down. There we go. Oops, came in a little bit hard there. That's better. And we'll do a lock. There we go. Right, so we're locked. Turn off our engines. And now we can work on the cockpit. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of doing a design similar to this. Kind of a bit of a point and then maybe having some windows on the bottom because it is like a salvage cargo ship. So you'd imagine the pilots would be wanting to look down to the side to see what's going on. So I'm thinking of actually kind of using some windows on the side here, so make it like a transparent floor, and then add the cockpit so that it runs right under this connector on the bottom here. And then maybe we're going to extend out a little bit at the front. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to kind of put the basic shape in, get that sorted. I'm going to turn off my, my welder for now, as I'm going to be experimenting. So let's do that, make sure that's off. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mess around with this a little bit and come back to you once I've kind of got the shape in place. So catch up with you in a sec. Alright, so this is what I've got so far. It's been a little bit tricky because when you're dealing with glass, it's sometimes quite difficult to connect them together. But the idea is that if I can give you a bit of a better an angle, there we go. You can see that basically I've got some glass panels all the way along the bottom here, another row along here, and then we've got some blocks just right here, which are angled blocks. And then we've got glass on the floor right here. So the idea is that when you're actually standing on the floor and looking over the side, you'll be able to see underneath the ship. So that's kind of how far I've got so far. It's been a little bit tricky. So what I'm going to work on next is on building the kind of the upper structure. We will do that, and then I need to figure out how to finish off the front and try and bring it together, which can be very, very difficult with glass, trying to do angles. But I will work on that once I've done the top bit. So I'll catch up with you in a sec once we've done the top bit, and then after that, once we get close to putting it all together, then we'll weld it, and then we can fill in all the gaps, hopefully to make it airtight, put a door in, all that kind of good stuff. Right, so I've finished the top, and what I've done is I put in some more glass along the top, and then just to kind of give it a little bit more of shape, I've just used some half blocks on this section right here, and then some thin point tips, just to kind of flatten it off a little bit so that we don't end up with this very, very obvious kind of shape. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this now, see how it looks, and then from there we can then hopefully start doing the front of the ship. I've also just put in a very quick little door in here as well, just so we've got that in place, and that'll give me a much better idea of how this is going to look. So there you go. I will catch up with you in a sec once this is all finished welding. Right, so the welding's sort of come along, it's pretty much almost finished. And now that I'm getting a chance to look at it, I can see that I'm kind of inside, I'm getting the feel that I want, which is to be able to look over the sides and to be able to see below. What I'm not happy with is actually these blocks right here. I think these should be windows, and also I think there should be a strip of windows down through the roof as well, just to kind of give it more visibility. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to basically swap out these for windows, and then we'll just have a single kind of block along the side there to be the actual block that contains everything together. And then we're going to extend the floor, and then I'm going to work on the nose and trying to kind of coalesce everything, although I don't think we need to worry quite so much about windows at the front. Maybe a couple here and there, but not too many. So that's where I'm at the moment. And so we're going to quickly just do a little bit of grinding. We're going to grind all of these away. There we go, just up towards the airlock. There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll take out these ones on the side here as well. So that one, that one, that one, and we'll replace these with windows. And then after that, I can make sure everything's still connected. Yeah, everything's connected along there, that's fine. So we'll just move along, grind these down. There we go. That one as well, and that one. And we'll just wait for the bots to pick that up. And then we'll replace those with glass. And I can see already that that's going to feel kind of much more airy, much more like a cockpit, along with the visuals at the top there, especially if you're kind of rising up, you don't want to ram into anything above you. You can just do a quick look-see up. Right, so that's kind of the plan. So let me go ahead and do that, and I will catch up with you as soon as that's done. Okay, so I've made those adjustments and I'm much happier with this now. As you can see, we can now get a much clearer view out of the side as well as underneath, and we've now got the view above us as well. So that's kind of got all of that sorted. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to be working on the front. I'm going to try and bring it into kind of a point. It's very difficult to do that kind of nose of what we have here in Space Engineers, but I'm going to try and do something along those lines. Just kind of give it that sleek, sort of more pointy look. I'm not quite sure how it's going to turn out, but we'll give it a try. So I'm going to fiddle with that for a little while, and then I will catch up with you once I've got to that point. Okay, so I've now finished the outside of the cockpit. Now there's some cleaning up that I can do. My main concern was really to make it airtight, which it now should be, which is always very difficult with these windows. But obviously I can do some little cleanups on the edges here with these blocks, so I can add, some blocks like this to, let me see, there we go, to sort of kind of give it a little bit more of a pointy feel. Let me see if I get these to flip the right way around. It will go eventually, there we go. Yeah, so you get the general idea. So the idea is that we can create kind of more of a point, and just to sort of add those cosmetic edges. But the main thing is that now, if we go inside the ship, there we go. You can see now that I have loads of room. I have loads of visibility as well, all around. I'm going to be able to take this control seat. I'm going to move it much further up so it's closer to the front, so probably around here somewhere. And then that leaves plenty of space. I can move this survival kit in the cargo container forwards as well. And then that means I can put potentially some cryopods at the back and various other bits and pieces. So that's kind of all done. And now the next thing that I'm going to be working on is I'm a little bit concerned in terms of this backbone, that if should anything happen to this backbone, I could end up with problems with fuel transfer. And as we've got hydrogen engines, we need that constant flow of fuel. So this connection needs to stay constant and working at all times. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to pop in on these edges up here. I'm just going to sort of link in. Let me just grab some interior plate very, very quickly. There we go. Let's just come down here. Some right there. There we go. Right. So what I'm thinking of doing is basically just connecting these tanks together, like so we can get these guys linked in here. Then I can see as well that we've got some connectors that I can pop in here between these two tanks, and just sort of provide some redundancy. So for example, here I can probably link kind of the tank that's here with the one down here, for example. Maybe even the one over down, all the way down here. Yeah, so I can sort of create another connector here. Let's zoom that round. There we go. So the idea is that I'm going to be connecting this tube down to this connector here, and then if I get any losses over here, then that kind of covers that, and then maybe even jump one from here, so from this connector, go across and then down into one down here. And I'm going to do that on both sides and get all of these sort of connected, same at the back, provide a little bit of redundancy with some extra piping. And then I'm going to start filling in some blocks all around the bottom of the ship to kind of encompass the jump drives and the oxygen tanks, and to just generally give the ship more shape. So that's what I'm going to do. This is going to take me quite a little while. There's a lot of blocks to put in here, but what we'll probably do is we will jump to kind of the almost finished look. So you kind of see it before it's welded, then after it's welded, then we can finish off with the custom blocks, give it a paint job, and then hopefully we should be there. Right, so stick around, we're nearly there. Okay, so I've been pretty busy. As you can see, I have been putting in lots and lots of blocks all over the ship. The main thing to bear in mind is that I put some heavy armor blocks along the bottom here just to protect that kind of backbone structure. Otherwise, these are kind of all standard armor blocks. I'm not expecting too many problems. Kept plenty of room around the hinges and pistons. We don't want any clang situations. I think I've got enough clearance there. I believe, if I remember rightly, that the landing gear stops just below the thruster. So once again, I've kept that overly clear just to be absolutely certain. And I can then add more tidy up bits at the moment. But the main thing is that we've got pretty much everything closed in. I could do probably a little bit more on the back here, but I'll add that in afterwards. I think at this stage, I'm gonna just weld, and we will get at least the main core of the ship done. And then, like as before, once you see the final product, then you kind of get an idea of what you may want to chop and change here and there. It's like I could see some quite big gaps in here, which I may want to fill, just so that it doesn't look quite so see-through at that point. But I'm going to leave it to weld. It's going to be welding for ages, and we will come back when that's all done. And then we have to give it a little fly and see how it goes. Wow, that took quite a while, but we got there. So here it is. It is all the blocks have been put on, given it a lick of paint, and that is looking a lot better now. I could still clean it up more. I could definitely do more with these edges. At the moment, they're kind of all looking rather bland. But I'm thinking for an initial run, I think we're pretty much there. You know, it's looking functional, and I'm pleased with it so far. So like I say, there's going to be some tweaks. We're going to put it to use on the stream and see if it actually works and does what it's supposed to do. And yeah, we'll catch up then. But there you go, finished product, up and running. And I will try and grab some footage from the stream that we're going to do in a couple of days' time, add it onto the end of this video so you can see it up and running. All right, back a little bit. So let's, oh, there we go. Like I've grabbed it. So we're gonna lock 2 and 3. Okay, I've got it. All right, so that's the first container. A little bit quick. That was a little bit on the quick side. Okay, I'm almost there, I think. Yeah, up again a little bit. That's ready to lock. So, okay, I've got it. Right, there we go. So we've locked both containers on. Unlock that one. Make sure I don't unlock the wrong one. There we go. We're just going to turn our dampeners off so we can just drift backwards. Just so that we can clear out in the range. There we go. Isn't that looking beautiful? There we go. And then we've got a couple of ships on the top there. Ah, this is doing the job lovely. Right, so I think we're almost far enough away from the lock now. Make sure there's nothing behind me. Let's have a look. Yeah, so I'm kind of in the general right area. I'll move it across a little bit. Move forwards. Right, so that's connected. Nothing is happening. And then we are going to deploy our grapples. Right. Yeah, we have got ourselves a ship. It's not started shooting at us just yet. Right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to try and out-thruster him to the planet. So we are going to head back. So here we are. I've made a little addendum to this video because we used the ship in the stream on Saturday. And yeah, so as you can see, one of the things that I did plan for the ship was to use it as a cargo ship. And Frimmy, who's one of the players on the dedicated server, He designed some modules which look great, those little yellow blocks there, and I adjusted the connectors on the bottom and added some merge blocks as well, so that we could snap those on nice and neatly on the bottom of the ship. And these modules are actually quite big. You know, it gives you an idea of the scale that one of the modules has got 6 large cargo containers. The other module has got 6 large hydrogen tanks. So yeah, it's a big ship, and it can carry that around with no problem at all. It's even got room to carry 2 support ships on the top. And then I don't know if you saw, as the module was being moved on, Frimi actually designed like a little tug to be able to attach the cargo modules onto the bottom, so I don't have to sort of maneuver the ship around too much. So yeah, that worked out really good. And then what we did is we took the ship over to a construction platform that we're going to be using in order to build an orbital station around the moon. So the idea is that we can then use Earth space base to produce all the materials that we need, and then we can just bring them there, drop them off, and then we've got everything we need to start welding away for our new orbital space station, which is going to be awesome. But anyway, after that, the other thing as well is obviously I did some tidying up on the detailing. So for example, if we take a closer look at the ship, you can see that I've now got an airlock. As you come into the airlock at the back, there's an armory, and then we swing around into the cockpit, and I've got all the usual things that you would need there, like a small cargo container, some cryopod survival kit, and then obviously there's a nice little control seat and some seats for my passengers, and lots of color and lights, because you need lots of color and lights on the spaceship. And then on the exterior, you'll see that I cleaned up some of the angles. There was some bits that were looking a little blocky, so I tried to kind of smooth those off a little bit. And then you could see the legs or the grapples actually starting to deploy there as I approached this ship, this civilian ship. It was a civilian exploration ship, and I decided we're going to try and nab it. And so, as you can see, I lowered myself down towards the ship, and then I managed to actually grab hold of it. And as you can see, it immediately tries to pull away, and it's thrusting away in all directions there, but I've got more than enough power to override its thrusters. And then I start taking it on its merry trip, unwanted for it, of course, on its way to the moon. And yeah, so I was very pleased with the design of it. It does seem to have a little problem with roll and gravity, which I need to look at, especially if there's a ship struggling underneath it. So I need to look at that and see maybe if I needed to put a few more thrusters maybe on the top. So it's obviously with these ship designs, there's always a bit of iteration after you've finished it. You discover some things that don't work just quite right. And that's half the fun of space engineers. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you found it interesting. And I'm glad you got to see a little bit of the stream as well, so you can actually see it in action. And yeah, so please give me a like if you enjoyed it. You can dislike too, that's fine. Please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications. I do release material on a regular basis. At the moment, it's Tuesdays and Fridays for videos, and Wednesdays and Saturdays for streaming. Wednesday is Planetfall, Saturday is currently Space Engineers. And then finally, do make sure to join our Discord to keep up to date with everything that's going on, and we're building a very nice community there. All right, that's all from me. See you on the next one. Bye.